Okay, so I want to share an epiphany with you guys purely for selfish reasons, because the best way to learn something, they've shown, studies, glorious scientific studies have shown us that the best way to retain information and embody it is to teach it, or let's say explain it to somebody else. So I'm going to explain to you this epiphany that I had as a result of my most recent fast, which lasted for 33 hours. Okay, so it's not super long, but nevertheless, I restricted my calories the day before, because I wanted to get an enhanced effect. So I really restricted. I barely ate anything the day before, and so I slid pretty quickly into a fasted state, and I stayed with it the whole day. And throughout the day, I had an intense workout and I meditated pretty much 3 times. Each time was about an hour. So, total of 3 hours of meditation, really intense exercise, and I cleaned up the day. I had nothing to do. And I found a personal epiphany that I think is worth sharing with you guys that really blew my mind when I saw it, when my third eye popped lit and I saw the whole thing, okay? And it's regarding mental alchemy, mental transmutation. You hear about alchemists, Hermes, as above, so below, the ancient Egyptian alchemists, the medieval ones. Some of you guys might have read the book, The Alchemist. And it's also, for me, the epiphany is my relationship to food. And something that recently happened is I've been, consistently eating primarily fruit diet for, a good 3 months now, right? And for anybody who eats lots of fruits, something. You ain't really gotta ever worry about your digestion, in the sense that you're taking consistent shits. You're pretty consistent on a daily basis. It's something you don't have to think about. Digesting food when you're eating primarily, plants and specifically fruits isn't something you have to think about. Isn't something you have to put much energy into, because it's so easy, right? The food's got a lot of water. The food's got a lot of water and fiber in it. It's perfect, right? But lately, more specifically last 3-4 days, I've been having some difficulties. Okay, it hasn't been too consistent, the defecation situation. Okay, if I want to use more user-friendly language here, the getting rid of the waste byproducts via the anus, the asshole, has not been as smooth as it has been ever since I've been eating this way. And so that was a little bit surprising to me, because I've been eating exactly the same food. And this is the nice thing about eating exactly the same food, is you get to hold this variable constant, especially if it's working. That saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then if something else happens, you know that it isn't per se the food, but it's other external means in your digestion. The way you digest your food has a lot to do with your mental well-being. If you're stressed, you could be eating angel foods. Like you could be eating lembas bread, elfish lembas bread from the Lord of the Rings, right? One bite fills the stomach of a full-grown man. You could be eating angelic food and you're still gonna have issues if you're really stressed, because a lot of the stress is stored in the belly, in the gut. Okay, and that is where those muscles in your gut are what propels, digests, assimilates, eliminates the foods. Okay, so where was I going with this? Yeah, so I've been having a little bit of difficulty lately eating the same food. So what gives? And the epiphany came to me. This was, again, like pretty much a day of intense exercise and meditation is these kinds of epiphanies pop up, and it's truth. And lately, funny enough, over like the last 5-6 days, I've been kind of giving the whole breatharian thing another shot. which is basically living off the prana and being sustained off the light and not needing any food, which many people are getting into, many people are doing, okay? And it's the evolution of human beings. It is the next step forward in our evolution. One of the next steps forward in our evolution is we become sustained by the light, like angels, okay? We're ascending now from human, from animal to gods, okay? So here is the interesting thing. I've been kind of giving another goal, and this is very interesting. I've started to resent dense foods because I'm like, oh, you know, it's too dense, like, you know, you need to sleep 7-8 hours to digest it, and it's just like, it's such a hassle, you know. I started to kind of resent it a little bit, okay? And no longer was I eating with love, which is something I often do, because especially with the way I've been eating lately, I really love fruits, mangoes, bananas, and you know, they're so vibrant, and I look at them, and you know, I got a whole thing where I kiss them, and you know, you gotta make love to your food, okay? And I noticed that, you know, over the last week or so, I've kind of been growing a resentful attitude towards dense food. Okay, because I really want to get to the next level, which is in progress. Okay, I really want to get to the next level. You know, my ego now is like, yeah, come on, dude, let's go. And that doesn't work. The Tao, the way, the universe, it's feminine. The divine mother, the Maya, she's a Maya, she's a woman. She doesn't like it when you try to come at her with force and with will and with, you know, let's do this. Doesn't like it. And so that's why, I know this for a fact, that's why I have been irregular as of late. In these last few days, I've been irregular because I'm like eating the food with this deeper resentment. I'm just like grabbing it and eating it, and I'm like, I can't wait to not have to eat anymore. You see, now I'm creating an environment that is hostile for the foods that are coming in. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's angelic food, it's a hostile environment. Okay, remember, everything is feminine within creation. So if you're ingesting these conscious being foods, especially if you're eating live foods, raw and live, they're live, there's life to them, there's consciousness. And if you have a hostile environment towards that, it's not going to sit well. It's not going to digest well. It is just not going to sit well overall. Okay, and that's what I've been creating lately. Luke Skywalker, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Skywalker from the first Star Wars. Okay? Complete dumbass, complete idiot. And that's what I've been doing. Okay? I have been creating, unconsciously, I've been creating a hostile environment for this dense form of food that I'm consuming. I'm no longer looking at it as, but this is still life, it's organic, it's been feeding you all your life and you should appreciate it. No longer was the sentiment of appreciation and love put out forth intentionally, consciously, deliberately into the food. And I know that that's what's been keeping me irregular, because it's the exact same foods. I think I'm in the best shape of my life in every single way right now, like especially with, you know, the teaching children, which I've been loving. I'm like living the dream now, the digital nomad dream. It's incredible. I love the work. It's amazing. So I've got zero stress right now. Okay, just look at, I'm like, I have zero stress. Okay, it's not the stress, it is in the food, because this is the same food I've been eating and it's been wonderful and I've been loving it. I've been eating it with love. Love, you understand? But not lately, not over the last 5, let's say over last week. And that's around the time I started to experience irregularity. Okay, I've been experiencing irregularity. I have not been daily, consistent, smooth sailing. Okay, pew, pew, you know, and you know, it's been fun to just pew, especially after suffering with all kinds of gut issues for a long time. It's been kind of nice ever since I switched into, you know, eating primarily fruits. Been nice, and I didn't have to think about it. But and I was loving it. I was eating with love. As soon as I started, I can already sense, see, it's all vibration. I already sense some of you guys are like skeptical. Like, look at this woo hippie woo bullshit. Yeah, okay, all right. If I am Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, the first one, and I'm an idiot, then I don't know what that makes you, because this is the way it is. Okay, there's always a spiritual reason for everything. There's always a higher reason for everything. Okay, and you've got to look at what the spiritual reason for everything that's happening. Everything is by design. There's no such thing as an accident, and it's all teaching you something. Everybody's the guru. Ram Dass is saying everybody's the guru. Every situation is trying to teach you something. Okay, to be closer to the oneness. Every situation. So something as simple as constipation, being irregular on the bathroom, you know, there is a spiritual reason behind it, and it always has to do with love. Somehow that you're not loving enough, you're not compassionate enough, you're not appreciative. Okay, it all falls. Light equals love equals beauty equals energy, all of it. It's the same trip, right? So, but it is what it is. That's what alchemy is. That's what mental transmutation is. So yeah, as soon as my mindset changed and I started to develop a resentment because I really want to become a breatharian, like, you know, here I am, I really want to do it. You know, I want to, and you can't skip levels in the game. In this game, you can't. You've got to go through every level. Just like any beautifully designed video game, you can't skip levels. You can't skip levels. If you're eating dense foods and that's what you're used to right now and you want to make the shift, you can't just boom. No, you've got to take your time, prepare yourself, let the Tao, nature is feminine, it takes its time and it's very spontaneous, so it'll spontaneously happen. Like you won't even know, it just happens. Kind of like how I'm eating once a day, it just kind of, over years, like 5 years of this, you know, conscious eating, is I just spontaneously started eating once a day. It wasn't something I had to struggle or put any effort into. And the same thing with breatharian, because it's all evolving, consciousness is evolving, and we're all evolving. Sooner or later, they're saying that 10% of the world's population is going to be breatharian in like 50 years or something. I believe that, because everything is going towards evolution. That's the way it works, evolution of consciousness. You start the game from zero and you finish it. That's what enlightenment is. That's what, you know, becoming one with it all is, mystical union is, right? It's you finishing up the game, or getting to very high levels, okay? So, but I'm trying to rush the process. You know, my ego is always rushing, wants to accomplish things, wants to believe that it's doing something. Look at me, I'm doing something. Look at Saeed becoming a breatharian. What a badass. What a badass. Look at him, a breatharian athlete doing all this badass shit and doesn't even need food. It is, I mean, that paints like a pretty badass picture, like something out of a science fiction movie, right? Some out of a super Saiyan or something, you know? And that's ego. That's ego. And so then with that, you start to develop resentment for what is now, which is I'm still eating. I can't do the breatharian thing yet. I can't do it. Okay, I'm still eating right now. I'm still eating. Okay, and I'm growing resentful towards what is in the moment. And yeah, that's gonna cause you irregularity. Okay, inconsistency. It's gonna, the flow stops. Before there was flow because there was love. Remember, love equals consciousness equals energy equals flow equals Tao. Before there was flow, beautiful, it's nice, and there's love and appreciation, right? And then the appreciation disappeared, and not only did it disappear, but with it came some resentment. With it came some resentment for what is right now, which is, why am I still eating dense food? Like, why am I not a breatharian yet? You know, how come nobody told me about this before? I could have done this earlier. I could have, you know, it's like, no, that's just ego. That's rushing. That, you know, you're not respecting the divine mother. You're not respecting the way nature likes to take its time. You know, nature takes its time, and yet everything gets done. Everything gets done. So, mental alchemy. Okay, love is the law. I think Aleister Crowley said that, and he was an alchemist, a magician. Love is the law. Okay, love is the law. Love is the most powerful force of transmutation. You hear stories about yogis drinking poison and nothing happens to them. It's one of the cities. I made a video previously about the cities, that the spiritual powers, psychic powers that you begin to unlock on the spiritual path. One of the spiritual powers that you inevitably will unlock at some point in your development is this transmutation. So the yogis can drink poison. That's one of the cities. I think it's a minor city too. It's a minor power. You know, to them it's like minor, those high-level yogis. They drink poison and nothing happens. Now, what do you think is happening when they drink poison? They're able to look at it and turn it into holy water if they wanted to. So they drink it and it comes in their physical system because they're way beyond the illusion. They see that it's all energy and everything's created in the mind. Everything's created in the mind. Mind creates matter. And they're living in that space all the time. So you drink the poison, but that's holy water. I mean, you could transmute it into whatever you want. If I had the power, I would just transmute it into holy water. Okay, that's what I would do if I had that power. But you know what? We have that power. I mean, the fact that I recognize that that's what's happening, now I have the power. You know, and I'm going to spend, you know, today, believe it or not, I'm going to kind of overeat a little bit today. I want to have a celebratory relationship with food. Okay, I'm going to eat all my food with love today. I'm going to, you know, light some incense and just sit down and have total full appreciation for this wonderful, beautiful, delicious, you know, mangoes are delicious, bananas are delicious, avocados are delicious, you know, almonds, you know, I like to eat almonds every now and then, cashews every now and then, right? And I eat them every now and then. I'll probably eat some cashews today just because I want to show appreciation. Okay, it's got nothing to do, believe me, you could eat anything you want. I mean, yogis drink poison. You see people like eating glass and nothing happens to them. What do you think is going on there? These people are conscious and they're mental, they're alchemists. They know that mind creates matter, ultimately. And yes, there are certain programs within you, you know, if you're not conscious, what happens if you're not consciously, deliberately, intentionally putting the intention into the thing you're doing, you just run off the programs. Meaning, if you're not conscious, you'll eat something and whatever your body's programming is, it will do it. Okay, so if you eat like pizza, for example, but you're just eating pizza, like you're not putting any conscious effort into it or anything like that, you're just eating like dense stuff, Big Mac, you're gonna have a bad time because your body is not programmed to process that food optimally. However, if you actually sit down and have a Big Mac in front of you, which I don't recommend you ever do, but if you really become skilled, you could have a Big Mac in front of you and you could set up the moon, incense, beautiful, love. You could put all your loving intent into it and you will turn it into angelic food, my friend. It will become like lembas bread. Honestly, it'll just turn into, you know, bread straight out of Jesus's hands. A Big Mac, yes, absolutely. Okay, so that's the truth. This is truth. Okay, what I'm telling you here, you know, take it as if you don't want to believe it or whatever. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. Good luck. Okay, once I pray to you that you get past the skepticism soon. Okay, because it isn't too fun. I've hung around in the skeptics scene, and it's just like you know. You've got to go beyond materialism. You've got to go beyond, you know, the assumption, the belief system that everything is physical and that's all there is to reality. Actually, everything physical isn't even physical. The quantum physics, the double slit experiment is showing us that electrons can become waves, or what is it? Waves, or God damn it, what was the other thing? I don't even understand it. I don't know why I'm talking about it. Okay, I've tried to understand it. I spent like a week one time trying to understand it. I can't even properly understand it. But from what I understand, the observer, if you observe something, you know, the electron can take on the expectation of the observer. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what's happening in your mind. Your mind is creating matter. you have certain programs within you. Like for example, you know, you're programmed to take in sunlight. You could go and take in sunlight, and it's amazing. It's wonderful. It'll do wonders to your health, you know, because you're sort of aligning yourself with the innate programming within you. However, you could create that sun in your third eye, and you could literally, if you sit here and actually like create a sun in your mind and like just feel it and be with it for like hours, it'll be exactly like getting sunlight. But that you need to be so good at meditation and focusing on one thing. Okay, one pointedness. And now you're using your mind to create matter. Because everything physical is the manifestation of the mind. Okay, everything physical is the manifestation of the mind. Everything, no exception. Okay, no exception. Waves or particles. Okay, if you're observing it, if there is no observer, it's waves. It has all the potential possibilities. Until there is an observer, it becomes particles. Okay, if there is no observer, it's waves. It's all possible. Anything's possible. You bring an observer, and it starts to behave like particles, because the observer, the mind, is the measuring device. It measures something, and it outputs the movie. Okay, so if I'm eating the Big Mac, for example, and I'm expecting it to absolutely destroy my system, okay, it will destroy my system. If I'm eating it without knowing if it will destroy my system or not, it'll probably destroy my system, because that's just the programming of my mind-body complex, the human body. This is not food optimally designed for a human body. Okay, so if I'm expecting it to destroy me, it will destroy me. If I'm eating it from a neutral standpoint, it'll probably still destroy me, because it is against the innate mechanism programming within my human body complex, my mind-body complex. Okay, we're not designed to eat this stuff with all the toxins and everything in it. However, if I'm sitting here and I'm like really focused on it, and I really turn it into something holy, lambas bread, you know, some angelic food, and I eat it, oh, it'll go down smoother than... I already used lambas bread like 3 times. I don't know. Holy bread from Jesus' hands. I already used that too. I'm running out of things, which means I've got to shut up now. So, the moral of the story, you're an alchemist, and you could transmute anything with your mind. Okay, work with your own programming, meaning still eat foods that are optimal for your body so that it's the path of least resistance. So you don't have to put much effort. So you get something like a piece of fruit, your body's designed to eat a piece of fruit. So then you put the conscious effort of loving it, appreciating it, respecting it, honoring it, even kissing it. You know, on all those good days, I swear, I was kissing all my bananas and mangoes before I ate them, and it's like, again, smooth. You know, I swear. Then I started to grow resentful, and then I start to be irregular. It is what it is, okay? You know, so if you get a piece of fruit and you look at it and you put the conscious effort, you feel it, you send love to it, appreciation, oh, it'll go down. It's so smooth, like, you know, woof. It's so smooth, because your body is already programmed. You're already working with the odds, not against the odds. You get something like a Big Mac, you're working against the odds, but if you're skilled enough, you'll turn it into the most holy food ever. Okay? Seriously. That's why yogis can drink poison. That's why it's a minor city. It's a minor power, spiritual power. The mind of mental transmutation. You're an alchemist. You're an alchemist. Okay? So the moral is show love, appreciation to your food, no matter what you're eating. I don't care what you're eating. You might be eating Big Macs. You might be eating whatever you're eating. And I swear to you, if you actually sit down and concentrate with love and blessings and joy, eat with joy and love, that food not only will not touch you in any negative way, it'll bless you. What you bless blesses you. That's the moral of the story. Hopefully you enjoyed the rant. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I learned something from this. I really wanted to share the epiphany because, you know, it really hit me. As I started eating and I broke the fast, and I realized, that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on. Your mind creates matter. Always go to the root. Don't blame it on this physical thing, okay? Always go to the root. There's a spiritual lesson for you, which usually, again, has to do with love, gratitude, all these forgiveness, all these higher ideals, okay? Thank you to all the Patreons for supporting my channel, and I dedicate all the bananas that I ate today, that I'm probably gonna eat again today, to you guys. So I want to show you appreciation, I want to show you love, just like I'm gonna try and do more and more for my foods. And that's that love is the law. Love is the most powerful. Love is the greatest alchemy. Love is the greatest force if you want to become a skilled alchemist. Love. Okay? So I love you guys. Thank you to all the patrons. If you would like to support us, and if you would like to become part of the family and show your appreciation through financial means, you could do so on Patreon. Okay? And that's about it. Until next time, may the force be with you.